Hate This Album. After Dark.
With Tim and Garrett.
Yellow, and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or an album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you, the listener, if we hate it and why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Jake Busey to my Casper Van Dien, Timothy Richardson. Jake, how you doing, buddy?
Great, actually, Garrett. I am consolidating my power. I am very close to cornering the hipster pants market throughout Harlem.
Okay, this sounds borderline constructive.
Yeah.
Say more.
Well, I took a three-pronged approach first after noticing that people like those pants with holes in them, you know, the pre-cut holes. Yeah.
Worn in, yes.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. The point is I opened 4 Jazz Jeans locations between 110th and 116th Street with the trademark, "It's about the leg your pants don't cover." Then, Garrett, I thought, what about the people who want pants without extra holes? So I opened 6 locations, all on 125th Street, called Acid Chaps. Assed Chaps, that it simply sells leather pants, you see. Finally,
Right.
I saw some assholes walking around in JNCOs like it's 1998, so I used the last of your financial assets to purchase a controlling stake in JNCO jeans. Well, JNCO jeans east of the Mississippi. We cannot sell them in Los Angeles. But I bought this from Milo and Jacques Reva. Again, that's JNCO jeans. Judge none, choose one for the discerning customer that would like jeans with 50-inch leg openings and also a cartoon kangaroo embroidered on them.
You've ruined us.
We're gonna be rich.
I could have sworn, and I hate that I know this, but I could have sworn that the rights were recently repurchased by the original founder of JNCO Jeans.
By one of the brothers, yes.
And we have what then?
East of the Mississippi.
My concern for how real this is has just escalated like threefold.
Oh, it's very real.
It seems that way. We're going to take a quick pause, everybody, while I check my bank account. We'll be right back. Okay, so everybody needs to buy some fucking jeans.
Yes, jazz jeans.
Tim made
ideally.
some choices. Ideally, yes. So
or chaps with asses.
Yeah, otherwise called pants.
Leather pants.
Oh, God. Listen, we're not going to recoup the cost on the leather pants. Let's focus on the things people might actually purchase. Go get those JNCOs, Tim. One more time. Where can they find them? 126th?
There are 6 locations of ass chaps on 125th Street. Jazz jeans, that's between 110th and 116th Street. And JNCOs anywhere east of the Mississippi.
Wow. We're fucked.
We're doing great.
Buy those jeans.
Yeah, seriously though, please do buy JNCOs.
I'm going to reach out to Kevin Smith, see if we can do a collab. That motherfucker loves JNCOs. I'll bet he'll do it.
All right.
In any event, folks, buy those soon-to-be-released Kevin Smith cross-branded JNCO jean shorts. Dude's king of the jorts. Okay, Tim, well, while I await my financial demise, why don't we do the show instead? What album have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the filthy Floridian ska band Less Than Jake and their October 6th, 1998 album, Hello Rockview.
And Tim, after an entire week with Less Than Jake and their curiously titled Hello Rockview, I'm pretty curious. Do you hate this album?
No, I don't hate this yet, but it is not good. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this that vary from song to song, but to be clear, while none of those mixed feelings are hate exactly, they're a mixture of various negative feelings.
I vacillate between neutral and deep dissatisfaction.
Yes. Now, what about you, friend? I heard you telling Gino that you were secretly a huge fan of this album and were planning to lie and say you didn't love it during the show so that I would think you're cool. So I have to ask, Garrett, do you hate this album?
Listen, you almost pulled something off there, except nobody listening to this show ever would think that I give a shit what you think is cool. In fact, I actively seek to do things you think are not cool. Nice try, fuckface. However, I will be a bit vulnerable here and say, whilst I am new to the Less Than Jake world and not a huge fan of this album, I don't hate it. And Tim, I'm ska curious. I don't like it.
What?
I think I might be ska curious. Ska curious?
Well, this is very troubling.
Scurious. See, I don't know, man. There's something about it. It speaks to my Real Big Fish days, those mighty boss tones.
Garrett, this is Florida music.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm ashamed of myself right now. I am being vulnerable here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to help you and say, be less vulnerable.
I'm trying to help you through guileless honesty. Through aggressive and unflinching criticism.
Yes.
We'll get you through this.
Yeah, I think
so. That is to say, no, I don't hate this album yet.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a probably more positive take on it than you. And while I probably will never, ever seek this out again, I won't be that quick to turn it off when it comes on.
Okay.
I know. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm hoping maybe the course of this episode, I can mature a bit, set aside my ska ways. I don't know, though. It's just, God, it just sneaks out like that, you know?
I do know, Garrett. I have spit all over my face.
Just wait till I start skanking.
Well, Garrett, here's the thing. This is a band, and we'll get into this. If your name is Less Than Jake, and you're a ska band, and people are skanking at your shows, design a dance for yourselves. Have a signature Less Than Jake dance, and then everyone can say something like, hey, let's go to the show and jake off, or whatever you go with.
Probably won't be that.
It could be, though. We're jaking off at the show. I'd
like it to be. Yeah. Hell, that sounds like a fucking song to me. Just jaking off at the show. Have you ever gone to a show and had your Jake go? Yeah, no, it's my ska voice is definitely more of a gravelly one, obviously. Okay, you don't hate it. I don't hate it. You definitely don't love it. I
probably love it.
No, I tolerate it. I have more tolerance for it. But we'll get into it, and that will almost certainly change. But before we do, I'm curious, Tim, prior to this week, what's your history with Jake? Have you heard any of this or their music before that you're aware of?
Minimal history with this band and this album, at least as far as I can remember. A couple of these songs sounded pretty familiar to me. Weirdly, the Cheese song was one of those. But I can't remember ever having specifically listened to this before. As a pop punk enthusiast in the late 90s, as a Philistine, if you will, it would be shocking to me if I had never heard any of this album or anything else by this band. But these are very forgettable songs. I think that is a key component to this. The one Less Than Jake thing that actually sticks out to me, there was this late 90s, early 2000s compilation album. It was from one of the NoFX guys or something, their record label. It was called Short Songs for Short People, and they were 30-second songs at the longest, and there were 101 songs on this thing. And the reason I remember it so well is because I have not heard the last two songs, because my boombox would not allow it. So sorry, Misfits and Wizzo, I don't know what you guys contributed to that thing. But yeah, Less Than Jake had a song on that. I believe it was number 2. So I know 30 seconds of them that is not on this album.
Dynamite.
Yes. What about you, Garrett? Have you heard this before? You know the Jake?
You enjoying the shrimp? No, even less history. I have never heard this, never heard any of their music that I'm aware of, didn't have any friends that were into Less Than Jake. This is my first exposure to Less Than Jake. However, given my dabbling in ska and your various pop punks in the past, it's impossible that I never heard any of this, but it certainly was not pointed out to me who it was.
That's fair.
And I sure as fuck didn't seek it out afterwards.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's my history. That's your history. That is to say, practically no history. And ska heads out there listening in Radio Land, you must be going crazy right now, because I know we have several listeners of the show, that is to say thousands, that are fans of this band, if not this particular album. And folks, sorry, we're probably going to say some less than kind things. Before we can do that though, Tim, we need to understand a little bit about this band. So take me on a journey, help you understand who is this band and how did this album come to be?
Less Than Jake is from Florida, Gainesville, Florida to be precise.
Boo!
Origin of one of our most middling Tims. That's right, Timothy Richard Tebow, who has been given the official title of Great Floridian by Rick Scott, an honor he shares with Messrs. JCPenney, Walt Disney, Jeb Bush, and Juan Ponce de Leon, because those 5 people are the same in the view of the great state of Florida.
That's so strange.
Anywho, vocalist/guitarist Chris DeMakes, drummist Vinny Fiorello, and bassist Sean Grief were in a presumably Charlie Brown-themed band in high school in Port Charlotte, Florida, called Good Grief, that broke up when Chris and Vinny went to college at the University of Florida. Now, Sean apparently was not up to the rigorous academic standards of the University of Florida, so he went off to the Big Apple to seek fame, ultimately returning to be the band's roadie a few years later. Now,
awkward.
While at uni, Chris and Vinny decided to start a new griefless band and decided to recruit a bass player, but first they would need a real name. Something cool, something catchy, something that would make it seem like they were an actual band, allowing them to lure in a really, really great bassist. Now, Chris has said the name Less Than Jake came from band practice at Vinny's house. Apparently, Vinny's family had a parrot named Jake that would squawk really loudly when they would play, and Vinny's mom would tell them they needed to stop playing because they were disturbing the bird, and they started making jokes that they were less than Jake in her eyes, who again was a bird. Or at least he was a bird and Chris is telling the story. When Vinny told the story, he inexplicably had to clarify that Chris got the specific kind of bird wrong. Jake apparently was not a parrot at all, but an English bulldog.
That is equally as strange. Because I thought you were going to say potentially was in fact a person. His little brother Jake. But honestly, the dog is weirder. I don't know exactly why, but like he definitely should have figured it out. Okay.
But my question is how you mistake a bulldog for a bird in your story.
I mean, you must never have met it, and you must have misheard bulldog for bird dog.
But I mean, I assume
Birdage.
so that English bulldog was screeching like a parrot?
Well, yeah. I've seen an English bulldog make weird noises, so yeah.
All right. I think it's weird. Any schmoozlebees, they got a bass player, but then they met somebody better at playing bass, so they fired that first guy. They loved the band's snuff and their EP Flibibbity Dibbity Dibdy Dob, which had horns on it, so they got Jessica Mills as a saxophonist and released the 7-inch Smoke Spot. Then they got tromboner Buddy Goldfinger Schaub, so named after a disastrous encounter with an old gypsy woman, which left him with a solid gold, completely useless left index finger.
We're going to go ahead and fact check that. Gino, mark the time.
They released the Better Class of Losers EP. They did a bunch of compilation appearances, local tours, some other EPs and 7 inches before they got signed to Dill Records, home of the ska band Skankin' Pickle, whom they toured with in 1995. Now, Dill Records released their first album, Pezcore, in 1995, which included covers of the theme song for The Jeffersons as well as the theme song for Laverne and Shirley. That album was named for the band's obsession with Pez candy that will continue through the rest of their career, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to mention again on the show, other than to say they offered me Pez during the pre-show interview from a series of Disney-themed Pez dispensers that I declined because I find Pez to be, and this is true, kinda gimmicky.
Gimmicks aside, Tim, how do you feel in the taste?
Oh, if you just give me the package, I think they're delightful. They're like Smarties.
Oh, you're a Smarties man.
Listen, I'm a huge fan of the Pez candy. I just don't like the dispensers.
I think they taste a lot like Flintstone vitamins.
Yes, which I also enjoy.
That is not my intention with that statement.
They did a bunch of those ironic covers and such that I don't really like, including Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, The Partridge Family's I Think I Love You, Summer of '69, etc. Then they were signed to Capitol Records and released Losing Streak in 1996. They obviously did many Vans Warped tours. They replaced...
Might have been illegal to have it without them.
Possibly.
What is your favorite Corky cover? You may not have one. I have one. Mine is Blind Melon's 3 is the Magic Number.
Never heard it.
Really?
I don't think so. Is it on one of their albums?
No.
Oh, well,
but it's on many of my mix CDs, which you have heard many times.
Yeah, I'm sure I've heard it.
3, oh, it's a magic number. Anyway, do you have one that comes to mind that you actually don't hate?
Not offhand. Don't say gin and juice. Don't say gin and juice.
Isn't there a cake one?
Oh, there's many cake ones. They did I Will Survive.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway.
As you were.
Vinny started the Fueled by Ramen record label in 1996 with University of Florida freshman Jean Janek, current CEO and chairman of Interscope/Geffen/A&M Records. So he has really moved up in the world from his.
I was going to say, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. At the time, though, he convinced the allegedly real university, the University of Florida, to give him college credits for going on tour with Less Than Jake on something they were calling the Ska Against Racism Tour, which, listen, if you want to end racism, don't involve ska. That's just going to amp people up.
It's just going to create needless enemies.
Yeah.
Who hates racism? Ah! Who loves ska?
Yes.
Yeah.
Less Than Jake toured with Blink-182 and some other bands of that ilk. They did, again, more Warped's tour. They released the album of the week, Hello Rockview, in 1998. They bought out of their Capitol contract for some reason, and in 2000 they released Borders and Boundaries on Fat Records, Fat Mike of NoFX's label. And a fun side note, there's a documentary on Fat Records called A Fat Wreck that's actually fairly interesting. Somehow they then toured as the opener for Bon John Voji, aka John Bon Jovi. They changed out horns players again. They did the Warped Tour in 2001, toured with other punk bands, did a summer tour of Europe, and played something called the Gravity Games in Providence, Rhode Island on September 8th, 2001, their last show of that year, freeing them up to pursue other interests over the coming days to months.
Just barely missed it. I was down in P-Town in 2000.
Huh.
No Gravity Games to be seen.
No. What were you doing in September 2001?
Going on a whale watch.
Oh, all right. Nice. Anyway, they came back touring with Bad Religion. Then they released Anthem, their best-selling album to the current date in 2003 on Warner Brothers Records. Spoiler alert, didn't sell very well. Then they did the Warped Tour. They did the Project Revolution Tour in 2004 with Linkin Park, Korn, and Snoop Dogg. I can't imagine
what
much of the audience cared for them. They released In With the Out Crowd in 2006. They toured with Real Big Fish in 2007. That tour included a mid-show break to do a Price is Right type game show on Less Than Jake trivia.
Dude, welcome to the How Did You End Up Here tour.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to see Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish in 2007. No, you're not. Nobody was. Go see Grizzly Bear and...
The National. The National. Thinking of. In 2008, they released the album G&V FLA, named, of course, for the Gainesville Airport Code. 2010, they released an EP featuring 16 songs, which included covers of the Toys R Us jingle, the Married with Children theme, the Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle, the Big Mac jingle, the theme to the Animaniacs, among other covers of garbage.
God damn it. I'm going to have that stupid song in my head.
Are and always have been a novelty band, is what I'm saying.
You're not wrong. They're bordering on, like, wedding band.
Yeah. They did more EPs. They did more Vans Warped Tours. They released See the Light in 2013. Then Vinny left. Then they released Silver Linings in 2020 after some COVID delays. They toured more, whatever. They released another EP at the end of 2024. So almost 30 years in, they are still doing this. Chris, the guitarist and vocalist, also has a podcast about songwriting that is inferior to the podcast you are currently listening to in pretty much every way. And for our listeners that like to email us about this, just to address the possible allegations, according to r/skatepunk, tumblr.com/expose the predators, Less Than Jake and the Warped Tour community at large, but specifically Less Than Jake, might be a little creepy and sexually harassy towards some of their younger fans. This is alleged, and I have no information on that like I, Garrett P. Harvey, usually do, but
no, don't invoke my name.
There are some alleged allegations allegedly out there about them being kind of creepy. Peace and chaos be upon you.
Please do not use my name be upon you. It's already fucking confusing as hell, like Daddle or Dadel from Norway.
Daddle. Oh, we have a fun email from him.
It can't be nearly as fun as the first one where he questioned whether or not we know what the fuck we're doing.
It's pretty much the same. It's fun.
Thank you for writing in, Dadel.
Yeah.
Great history, Tim. That is to say, it's over. Before we can really get into things, that brings us to general thoughts. Let's break it down musically.
Yeah.
We got two general genres here. We got the aforementioned ska and then the pop punk.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I don't hate this, or at least not all of this, is it's billed as filthy ska, but it's at least half not filthy ska.
True.
There's a lot more that's in line with like your Blink-182s, your Green Days, your NoFXs. The skate pop punk thing that was popular in the late 90s. Some of it is legitimately ska. Some of it is that pop punk with horns over it, which is not necessarily ska. Because for me, ska has to have the reggae beat, the weird upstroke guitars, plus or minus horns on top of that. But pop punk plus horns isn't as offensive as ska in my book.
I concur. I didn't realize we were going to get this nuanced. I'm glad we did. There are a number of songs, because I tended to help me remember, I would tag each song in my notes, like ska, pop punk, and there were a number that got me, because I'd be like, oh, it's a punk song. And then you get like a third in or 2/3 in, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it's just like... You're like, oh, well,
yeah,
okay, I guess.
If you're basically doing a second guitar part in your pop punk song that just happens to be played by horns, I mean, I would prefer it not be in there, but it's not ska, right? It doesn't have
I agree.
The reggae beat, you know what ska is. Because you can have a ska song that doesn't have any horns in it.
Absolutely. It's like pornography, Tim. You just know it when you see it.
Yes.
Or in this case, hear it.
Right.
Okay, that's the music. Lyrically, we're going to start to lose some points.
Maybe. I think I can bring it back.
You found the lyrics to be provocative and interesting.
I found them to be provocative. I can say that.
God damn it.
Right, because, okay, so this whole album, it appears to be, on its surface, a concept album about getting out of your small town and making it in the world as a band despite being some sort of post-high school loser, right?
Yeah, those are the broad strokes. I agree.
Sure. And I would agree with that about 90%. But I think that it really is a concept album about rejecting the mundane life that insists you go to college and then get a job at a bank like some sort of Doherty, and instead working up the courage to pursue your true passion, which is, of course, going to the big city and selling that dick to anyone that will buy it.
Sort of a Midnight Cowboy situation.
No. This is not Midnight Cowboy. This is not Less Than Zero. This is a decision pursued with zeal. This is about the making of an enthusiastic male prostitute.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And every song on this album is about it. Every single one. Or at least relates to it a little bit.
Fascinating. I'm not sure I picked up on it. Looking forward to hearing your explanation.
This will be the last you hear of it.
Oh. So it's somebody who is setting out to become the greatest man whore in New York City.
Well, no, he doesn't necessarily want to be good at it. Listen, it's not about being the best. It's about following the thing he loves.
Interesting. He likes to use and be used by others.
No, he likes to be used. It's very specific.
You're going to have to back all this up. Otherwise, you're a creep.
I'm not, Garrett. They are. It's all in here.
Okay. Let's talk about delivery.
Okay.
Vocal stylings. It's a lot of the fake British delivery that you get with your punk.
The Green Day, that part of the Bay Area that is somehow in London.
Right. Foggy old Bay Area. I guess that works. Anyway, we know the vocal affectation, and it's just fascinating to me that something like that is just like, no, this is how you do punk music. And everyone just goes, oh, okay.
Well, the goddamn Sex Pistols.
Sure. It's that for about half of it, and then a little less, I would just say it's a slightly less dramatic version of it.
Yeah, well, I think it's the drummer is also singing at some parts, which may be part of that. I don't really know.
And it doesn't really matter. What's most important for our listeners is that it's fine. It's not, it's no King Diamond.
No, it's not magnificent.
Did somebody call me? Now get out of here, King Diamond. Okay. Diamond, get out.
Get the broom, Gino.
Put him back in his crawl space. That's going to be a bit. Okay. What else need be said?
We could talk about the cover.
Yeah, what's going on with that cover?
It's in my head, because I've seen this cover before. In my head, it was Superman, right?
Oh.
But it's not. It's a 1960s guy, like a Mad Men style guy, in a suit with his martini-serving wife, and he's diving into a backyard pool. But I do think he's supposed to be evoking Superman somehow.
Okay, so here's where I'm at with this. Didn't even notice the pool. I thought he was being abducted by aliens.
Oh.
I thought he was being sucked up feet first.
Oh. Well, it's not that either.
No, he's diving into a pool.
Right.
I think your Superman imagery is just because of the red and the blue.
Quite possibly.
Although there are definitely songs on this album that speak to expectations and high hopes for people. And so
high
it
hopes
might be
that you won't and that your son will end up as a male prostitute in New York City. We'll get there.
God, I'm super curious to see how you put a bow on that. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe there was some time in his childhood where his father came home and jumped in the pool in his suit after work and drowned himself.
Oh, dear.
I'm dying, Mo. Goodbye, Mo. Oh, yeah. Careful. Don't you want to take your shoes off before you go oh, God. I'm dying, Mo. Oh, God, is there anything I can do for you? Do you have a cure for cancer? That'd be so lovely. No, I don't. Sorry, I just watched that 2 days ago. Oh, okay. Are we ready, Tim? Did we do it? Is it time for the song by song?
Oh, let's get into it.
Hot diggity damn. Here we go, folks. Track number 1. Cue it up, Gino. Last one out of Liberty City.
We start with some faux police radio saying last one out of Liberty City, burn it to the ground.
Yes.
And then we've got that 90s punk sound, right? You've got the gurgling bass that you would hear on it's almost approaching kind of a Rancid album.
Sure.
You got the fast pounding drums, the random horns that could easily be left out of this. But yeah, this is a pop punk song, or a skate punk song even.
Yeah. And when it fires up, man, before I gave it a solid, and we said 1 week, it's really been 2, because somebody had to go on a mysterious trip to Minnesota.
Well, there's that, but then there's also the pants, Garrett, the pants stores I've been opening.
Why so densely in one area?
I want to corner the Harlem pants market. There are a lot of hipsters up there. You wouldn't think so, but that's where a lot of hipsters live now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. Do you live in Harlem? Are you buying JNCOs? If not,
please do.
Yeah, our whole future is tied up in those goddamn giant pants. Okay, we get the bullhorn sort of Liberty City business, and when it starts up, man, I'm into it. It's got that 90s punk sound. This is not bad. We listen to way worse than this.
Oh, yeah.
And we begin with, I know just who I am. And what's in my head is that I don't really give a damn. Just who you think I am, just who I am, just who I am, just who I?
Yeah.
Question mark?
This kind of drove me crazy simply because I very specifically wander around the Big Apple here, and anytime Yogi wants to bark or sniff or pee on something, this is sort of my refrain as I drag him away. Just, I know.
That's fucking weird. I do the same thing with Batman. I go, I know.
The rest of this seems like a song about how everyone he went to high school with has moved on, and he is the loser left in Port Charlotte, Florida, or Gainesville, or wherever a terrible place they're from, right?
Well, before you move on, just to keep things spicy, there's also a chance, let's just read it from the other side. What if this is a gentleman who has active amnesia? Everyone around him is telling him he has active amnesia, and he insists, no, I know who I am. Daniel Ribble. I am an orthopedic surgeon. I have lived here for 13 years. You're none of those things, Gary. I know who I am. I don't give a shit who you think I am.
I know there comes a time when you lose faith in what you believe inside and what you have inside. And you know, somehow it's just a spark that's a start that keeps us from the crowd. The other day, this girl came up to me and asked if she used to go to school with me and kind of laughed. She said, wasn't I the guy her friends always called a waste of time? So, okay, this is about a guy who, again, is a post-high school loser, right? This is somebody who hasn't moved on with his life. He's still hanging around this old town, and I don't know, maybe she's back for a high school reunion and sees this guy.
Right. That totally makes sense. He is, and I think that the implication here is that this is a struggling musician, obviously autobiographical. However, much more fun to picture that same gentleman years later who is still insisting that he is a salesman for medical malpractice coverage named Sal Salzman.
Right. And maybe he's not a struggling musician at all. Maybe he's a struggling male prostitute who has not yet had the courage to leave Gainesville. And so he's just some sort of male Gainesville lot lizard instead of, coming up to the Big Apple where he can really make some change.
So, okay, I see the direction we're headed. Love it. I was going to ask you, but it would be disingenuous. So what I was going to ask you is there a minor leagues to this game? Is there a professional level, an A level, if you will? But of course there is. Of course there is. Everybody knows the difference between a Lizzie, somebody on the back pages, and somebody that you get from a business card from a good friend of yours who says, ask for the bourbon special.
Ask for Timothy Richardson.
No, when they answer, say Fidelio.
Yes, absolutely.
That sort of a deal.
Because, and he's worried, Garrett, because he knows this is a competitive business. He has to really put himself all out there just to make sure that he goes down as one of the greats. He says, when I stop and think about where I'll be in 10 years from now, I wonder if the me of now would call myself washed up or watered down or just part of the crowd. The other night, this guy came up to me downtown and can't believe after 5 years I'm still around. He says, wasn't I the guy that walked these streets all night? Garrett, this guy, one of his friends from high school, ran into him downtown and he said, man, weren't you whoring yourselves on the streets 5 years ago? You're still here? You haven't moved out of Gainesville? For the love of God, man.
And you're still whoring?
Well, no, of course, Garrett. He loved it even then. My point, though.
So is it for the glory or is it just for the love?
It's for the love of the game. He doesn't listen. He doesn't
Unclear what that means.
He doesn't need recognition. He doesn't need awards. He loves doing it. He loves being out there in those dangerous situations. Not sure if it's gonna be if a lady or a gentleman's gonna be pulling up in that car with those tinted windows. Not sure if maybe they've got a knife. You never know. That's what makes it exciting. Lord. That's what makes it glorious.
You painted a very disturbing picture. I'm gonna take the ride though.
Yeah. Well, this imagery is gonna come out in every single goddamn song on this album.
Folks, I'm going to do my best to provide a counter narrative, but I have a feeling it's going to be compelling.
I'm going to walk right all over you and then edit your bit out.
Respect. Track number 2, help save the youth of America from exploding.
Again, we start off with some semi-acoustic stuff before the pop punk kicks in. And again, we're not yet at ska.
No, we're not ska-ing it.
Yeah. Now, this song is filled with imagery about being lost in the big city, Garrett, about being out there all night, about still being outside when the normies wake up and start their day.
Oh, we're on the same page. Now, the only difference is that in my version, I thought it was somebody who was maybe out at a music venue skanking or bopping, or what's the thing that the fucking mods do where they
jaking off?
That's it. Jaking off. Instead, what you're going to probably describe is a beleaguered, dehydrated.
Not even that, Garrett. This is a man who has struck out. He is disappointed in his performance. It becomes clear in the bridge, but let's take the ride. Let's get there together.
Sorry,
this week,
I apologize
Garrett.
for jumping the gun.
Yes.
Sit down. Remind me how. This is the same old story of growing up and getting lost. And just outside, I can hear the sound of the early morning streets becoming way too loud. Yeah. And the hum of the engines in the cars on the streets. Yeah. On the streets.
Yeah. He's hanging out on the streets all night. He has his own thing, Garrett. He is apart from the society that is waking up in the morning. It is 8 a.m., but he is not on his way to work, Garrett. He's on his way home from work. And honestly, at this point, the hustle and bustle of the city's kind of giving him a headache. And I get it. I get it.
After a long shift at the dick mines, his sun's coming up. Everybody's cheery, hitting him with bright-eyed hellos. And he's got a layer of filth and jism on him.
No, but again, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he struck out. That's what he wants because, again, he's in it for the love of the game. This is a Simon and Garfunkel-esque story about moving from your Florida town to the big city, to really just try and make it. He says, and just outside, I can see my breath in between the words that fog my spinning head, and I can see the sun coming up, and it's just light enough to see. Then he says, and all the late night calls with all the lost hopes, lives and all the missed connections and lost directions. Garrett, I think that he is out there. He's been trying, and he's coming home empty pockets.
Empty pockets, empty mouth.
Well, yeah, gross.
I mean, listen, he could be servicing women, but let's get real.
It's men.
That's not the scene. Right. It's men.
Yeah.
Now listen, in your version, has he moved to the big city? Is he out there trying to make his way? Has he left Gainesville?
Maybe Gainesville is the big city.
Oh no.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's at least in Atlanta.
Yeah, let's fail on. Oh, come on, dude. Let's fail on a bigger stage than Atlanta.
All right.
Let's Chicago makes sense because there is a part of this song that references a 53rd Street bridge, which the only 53rd Street bridge I know of is in Chicago.
Listeners, write in. Is that right?
I bet you'll be surprised to learn I might have made it up. Nah, I think it's accurate. Let's see here. Song continues. Actually, it's just the chorus a few more times. So I think well stated, Tim.
One other thing I would like to throw out here. They're really bad at harmonizing.
Oh, yeah. I would say they don't.
Yeah, it repeatedly seems as if they were trying to harmonize on the chori of this album, and they don't. You're right.
Yeah, they sing at the same time, but their voices do not go together.
Sometimes they don't sing at the same time, Garrett. It's really off. Garrett, but that's basically that song. Track number 3, All My Best Friends Are Metalheads.
Strange that there's a way of how you looked and how you act and how you think.
I think this is like the hit from the album.
Yeah, I think so too. We start off with a sample of the spoken word Victor Lundberg, An Open Letter to My Teenage Son, that I looked up and listened to the full thing of. Meh.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, but I mean, it does give some context to this album, right? This is a guy who is, it's a letter to his son who is, maybe out there, maybe he's not acting. Maybe he is acting in a way that goes against how he was raised by his conservative Christian family.
Yeah, I did a bit of digging. This we'll read the excerpt. It's much longer than what we're going to read, but
the excerpt is maybe one of the least upsetting parts of it.
Accurate. It was written by some dude named Robert Thompson as a way for him to communicate with his son, who I assume hated him.
Yes,
but he was like, I just don't understand this boy.
Yeah, he was out there on the streets, and he figured the only way that my son, it's the 70s or 60s or 50s. I don't fucking know.
60s?
I think 60s,
67.
yeah. The only way my son is ever going to hear this is if I make some sort of popular recording and he stumbles upon it, and he kind of did.
Oh, it's depressingly popular.
Yeah. Well, it was for about a month.
Sure. So he was just trying to connect with his boy who's out there walking the goddamn streets, servicing anybody with $1.35 and a whim.
And a new idea. Something, a place to put something or a something to put someplace.
I tell you, Steven, he's doing it both directions.
Gross. Yeah, do you want to read the excerpt here?
Yeah, this is a fair request, and I promise I will not judge any person only as a teenager. And you will constantly remind yourself that someone of my generation judges people by their race, their belief, or the color of their skin. And that is no more right than saying all teenagers are drunken dope addicts or glue sniffers.
Or some sort of weird third thing.
I just don't understand you, young man.
Yeah.
With your drinking and your glue sniffing.
Yeah. And then the music kicks in, and this is now truly ska, and I do not care for it. There is that shitty beat.
Skanking hard.
Yeah, the staccato, skanky, offbeat upstroke guitars, that bouncy bass, the horns. All of this just sucks in my ears.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
Yeah.
This is a song to my ears about ska fans and participants getting tired of constantly being picked on and trying to build alliances with cooler and tougher genres.
Yeah, it's about saying, like, listen, man, I know we're punk and you're metal, and we're basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, you wear all black, my shoes have checkers.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, nobody likes us. Neither of us can throw a football to save our lives.
Yes.
That's actually not entirely true. Some of the metalheads I knew were terrifying football players. Anyway, song begins. But you think it's strange strange that there's a way of how you looked and how you act and how you think. Pretend they're not the same as you. Wow. What in the world does that mean?
Yeah, it's gobbledygook, but I think what he's saying is, listen, normie, prostitute, we're pretty much the same. You know, I'm just a human being. I'm out here. I'm doing the job that I love. Sure, you went to law school and now you, I don't know, work for the Innocence Project, but I do my own thing, you know? Someday I'm gonna need you, actually.
Okay, so like it's somebody who remains lifelong friends with people, potentially, and how you might go to happy hour and be like, yeah, I just closed a deal. They're going to make me partner. Way to go, Mike. This person, who I think we ought to give a name, maybe it's Jake, but this person would be like, I have seen a lot of online traffic talking about my HJs. I really think I'm going to be able to start charging an extra $5 soon.
Absolutely. And
Jesus.
He'll name himself later in it. Well, I'll wait to...
Oh, he'll name himself.
Yeah. And give
What a
himself a
tease.
street name.
You gotta have a street name.
Yeah.
What would your street name be, Timmy?
Not Cheese, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, they call me Cheese on account of all my holes.
Garrett, you've been reading my notes.
Yeah, I figured. Boy, what would your lot lizard name be? This is fun. I like this. It would be Dried Mayo.
Jesus. Timmy the Strangler.
That's not a Lizzie name. No one wants to go with the Strangler.
Maybe.
You've proven that.
I don't know. It's, you know, can I outwit the Strangler? Can I overpower the Strangler?
Who's going to climax? Who's going to die? I don't know.
Probably have to bleep at least 3 of those words.
We'll see. Gino, mark the time.
Nah, don't bother, Gino. Hey, listen, Garrett, no, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay. Anyway, do you know about his strength and convictions? Or how she puts all her faith in religion? Did he take the time to really discover how little we know about each other?
Yeah, he's talking about his family, right? His dad, you know, he's an upstanding gentleman. His mom, since he has made his life decision, has really turned to that church.
Attention to Jesus. Yeah, that's one way to read it. I took it more as, skank, punk, metal, we're all the same. Let's be friends and stick up for each other when other people are making fun of you. And, maybe like just taking your food at lunch. We can all get together and be like, that's not right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Keep us from saying anything, can't separate from everything. And all this really means is you're one in a crowd and you're paranoid of every sound. Another friend you won't miss anyhow.
Yeah.
I guess I would say they're describing people who hear ska, instantly reject it as offensive and off-putting, and then they have their guard up about fans of that genre.
Yeah, or like people that find out his profession and are like, I don't want to be friends with you, when really, listen, when he's off the clock, you can be friends with him. It's not gonna...
Oh, I see. Well, listen, I mean, interesting.
He's not going to pressure you for that sweet, sweet money and, the things he'll do to get it when he's off the clock, right? I mean, listen, you've been to the grocery store, right? You're friends with our local grocers. When you see them walking on the street, they're not like, hey, want to buy a tomato? Right?
No, thank God.
Leave the fuck alone.
Yeah, that's true.
Now,
so he's like, hey, man, we can go to a movie. I'm not going to try to finger bang your girlfriend, okay? And then charge her $20. That won't happen again.
Right.
Like, it's super clear. Work, pleasure, different.
Right.
I'm sorry I finger banged your girlfriend.
Right. And on that note, Garrett's track number 4, 5-State Drive.
Transfer to the 89. Left down eastbound past.
This feels almost real big fishy, I think.
Yeah.
We're solidly in ska territory. And this is a song about getting the fuck out of Florida, which I can really get behind, unless you are some sort of Floridian, in which case you should stay there in self-quarantine.
Yeah, we really don't need to spread that around.
Yeah. But yeah, and the reason for leaving Florida could be any. One could be that you're in Florida. That's reason enough to get the hell out of there. The other, of course, could be moving to the big city, getting out of Gainesville or Port Charlotte or wherever.
I assume, is Port Charlotte also in Florida?
It is, yeah. It's on the western coast, I think. The Gulf Coast.
The good one.
It is the good one.
It is not.
Oh.
You were looking for East Coast. That is the correct answer.
We should try the East Coast. Maybe that's the problem.
God, when was the last time we were in Florida together? Was that Orlando?
It might have been Orlando Calling, the first and last annual Orlando Calling Music Festival.
It was magical. You were handicapped. We took advantage of it.
We did park right at the front with a handicap parking permit and just walk in. Because
Amazing.
you fucking crippled me 15 years ago, Garrett. Anyway,
I would
got on the...
just climb better.
I'm working on it. This is pretty much a description of driving out of Florida. It got on the 47, transferred to the 89, left town eastbound, past all the city signs. You know it's hard to leave your past behind. As I pass the crummy bars and beat up cars, nothing will change your mind. He is out of there, Garrett, and I get it.
Yep. He's always been apprehensive, not sure if he could make it on the mean streets of the big city, handing out finger blasts and HJs and butt stuff and, whatever it is people are buying these days on the streets.
Yeah, scrote stuff. I get it.
Scrote stuff.
He needs a classier venue to sell his wares.
Scrote.
I don't know
stuff.
what it is either, Garrett. I just interpret the lyrics. I don't.
Oh yeah, I do all this stuff: dick stuff, vaginas, scrote stuff.
Yeah.
Scrote. That's maybe the least sexy word ever.
It's definitely not, Garrett. We can take it off mics, but I got at least 11 words I think you're going to think is less sexy than that.
I got a list that's going to make George Carlin blush. All right. Basically he just describes how to leave Florida, which is, good advice, but I don't think we need to read it all to the listener.
Fair enough. Track number 5, Garrett. Nervous in the alley.
All right.
Yes, Garrett, I think that by the time I've read the title Nervous in the Alley, you've realized that I am, in fact, correct.
We'll see. I do want to point out, it's just because I have to say it, this song in particular, I can't stand the horns.
This one it's a weird jazzy take on ska. I guess it's because he's now in the big city, so the jazz clubs, and you wait outside the jazz clubs until they start emptying out, and then you say, hey, in the alley, come on, come to the alley. See,
I think you'd maybe
I'm in the alley.
I like this guy. He's sort of a scummy Bob Dylan.
Yeah, but
hey.
Well, you got to know your audience, Garrett. These are guys coming out of a jazz club. They're not going to want you to be there and be like, "Hey, I'm in the alley and I'm handing them out."
I'm looking to get used, Daddy-o.
Because again, this is
outside the local jazz clubs and supper clubs.
Yeah, again, this is a concept album about happily pursuing a very specific life, but there are still some situations when it gets a bit dicey, and the first time you work an alley shift is certainly one of those times.
Because the alley is the workplace of the male whore and the pickpocket.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if that's who you're watching out for, Garrett.
You were looking for Joe Chill? You worried he's going to Batman somebody? What are you talking about?
Maybe. I'm just saying an alley's a dangerous place. Especially, listen, think about this, Garrett. Picture working an alley in West Campus between June 2003 and May 2007. You're just asking for a strangling.
Yeah, you're asking to be introduced to some piano wire.
Yeah, but to me this feels like a guy who is working up the courage to stand up for himself against his pimp. He says, on a Tuesday in the rain, I never thought there'd come a day. I never thought there'd come a day, yeah. If I put myself to the test, would I ever raise a fist? Would I just shut my mouth? Would I block it out? So he's there, he's deciding to, listen, these work conditions are not ideal. I'm having to work the alley a lot more. I was hoping for more of a boulevard or at least a street. That would be better. So do I say something? Do I try and fight back, or do I just accept it? Because listen, while it's not the best money, it's not the best clientele, I am doing what I love. I'm doing what I moved to the city for.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues. You don't start out on the back of a free magazine.
Yeah.
Or on the pamphlet handed out by a homeless person in Times Square. You got to earn that.
Yep.
You start in the alley. Now, Tim, can I give you a slightly alternate reading just for funsies? And maybe we can even touch tips on it.
All right.
I just mentioned him a moment ago. I might even cut it out. Joe Chill, murderer of Batman's beloved parents. What if this is the origin story of Joe Chill? Nervous in the alley. After a previous incident, maybe he was mugged. Maybe he was roughed up after a John got done with him. And he was like, I got to get the courage to go back to the alley. He goes back to the alley, and wouldn't you know it, some hotshot big-wigged Mr. Moneybags comes waltzing through and tells this street rat man whore to get the fuck out of his way.
Or maybe he's there and his pretty wife's there, his son's there, and he's still demanding services. That's how rich he is, Garrett. He thinks he can get away with this bullshit.
Maybe Bruce has been glossing over some details in the story. maybe Martha and little Brucey Bruce come out to the alley. Thomas, why did you leave Deflator Mouse early, dear? Oh, shit. Finish up, street rat.
I like that he insists he finish. Jesus.
And, you know, one thing leads to another. He's like, God damn it, he forced himself on me, Martha. It's happening again. I thought we were past this. You said you were over it. Poor little Bruce is traumatized into dressing up like a giant bat. Makes more sense. Yeah, it's got a whole BDSM thing to it, Tim. I think we've rewritten Batman in a much more, in an earnest and lifelike way that Christopher Nolan couldn't approach.
Right, and shouldn't.
Yeah, no, let's be clear. Nobody wants to see this.
Yeah.
Finish up, God damn it. Come on, Street Rat.
Yeah.
Is one of the more upsetting things we've said lately.
We're very close. I think this is a guy who perhaps is either being treated poorly by his pimp or perhaps something
Thomas
bad.
Wayne.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne beat him up in the alley again. And so he's returned to the alley and he's going to go about his day and do his job as told. But this time he's got a snub-nosed 38 on him just in case. He says, I swore it 1,000,000 times never to be left again with that feeling of hopelessness, left standing, just nervous in the alley.
Dude, I think we have him mixed up a little bit. So I think Mr. Wayne has visited Crime Alley more than God, it's even called Crime Alley. You know crime's there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
he's visited Crime Alley.
Sexy crimes.
Yeah. Those victimless crimes. Yeah, that's the ticket. No. Mr. Wayne's been there a number of times for extracurricular activities. And then that night they do in fact leave Zorro early, and our main character comes emerging from the shadows, wink, wink, Bruce, and he's like, oh, Mr. Wayne, I'm in the alley, you're back, I'm in the alley. Sorry, I really like your I'm in the alley. But he's like, you're back for a little more, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, oh, sure you don't. And so he's got to pick a fight with him, and this guy's like, oh, I'm not putting up with this time. No, sir. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he was a regular customer that didn't expect to run into him that night. And then when he was like, get out of the way, I don't know who you are, street rat. He was like, oh, you're not calling me a street rat. I wasn't a street rat when I was jerking you off.
Jesus Christ.
Jaking you off.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, maybe Thomas Wayne actually promised he was going to save him from this life. And then he had to go back on that when his wife found out, because in the bridge he says, it's a change of heart that keeps us apart. You say it's true. You know it's true. Nothing left except for me and you. It's not strange with all I have to say. I wonder what I'm fighting for. Yeah. So maybe he's in this alley and Thomas is promising, or whoever is promising, listen, I'm going to take you with, I'm going to get divorced from my wife. We're going to be together. And
I are going to run away to Metropolis. They're very open-minded there.
Yeah. And then he has to come back, hat in hand and say, listen, my wife found out. She found my suitcase.
Just after he finishes, he's like, listen, I need to talk to you about something. It's not going to happen, sock puppet.
Oh, God.
I don't like it when you call me that. It's my pet name for you. Shut up. I know. No. You've driven down this cul-de-sac. We're going to sit in it. And so he's just like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to leave Martha. You should have known that. You're just a little street rat. Well, we're going to go to Metropolis. We're going to live in a high rise. I'm a billionaire. You're fucking crazy. You ought to be lucky I didn't kill you.
Yeah. And that's when that snub-nosed 38 comes out. Track number 6, for the love of God motto. This is a song about when you find yourself in a horrible situation in life. Sometimes your day is not going as it was going to. You're getting roughed up or whatever. And you have to go to the happy place to get you through until, whoever finishes whatever they're doing.
Well, it would be super demoralizing is if you went to the big city to be a gigolo in the most traditional sense. You're like, boy, I'm going to service, maybe older ladies or folks that have a hard time with relationships. And then you get there and it's just a never ending line of dudes, and you're like, all right, well, I'll get out there. And it's dudes
that seem like they could like do better, right? Like they don't need to be doing this. What are they doing this for? Same reason you're there. The thrill.
Oh no,
the illicit thrill, Garrett.
Jesus Christ. Probably. But no, I was going to say, like, so you, like, resolve yourself to it. You're like, listen, I'll get a reputation, build myself up in the scene, then I'll graduate to the ladies. But, you know, we all know you never graduate into those ladies. There are no ladies.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, honestly, percentage? What percentage
Less
of
than
prostitute?
5.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's just not it doesn't make sense. Now, I would guess of those 5, those are very wealthy women.
Yeah, who are there to beat you up.
Oh, you think that's why they're doing it? Because what they're into is so weird that they got to pay somebody.
Or maybe it's literally they're looking for somebody that can't tell.
What?
Well, what are they going to do though? The lady who paid me for sex beat me up. You're not going to the cops with that.
Oh, that's true. No, I completely agree. I'm just saying, I thought you meant something very different. I'm sorry. Okay, so I was picturing more like it's just super wealthy / older ladies that are just like, you know, I'm Mrs. X Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not gonna...
Do not sully her name.
For instance, obviously, she would never do this.
Right.
But, you know,
the new one might, though.
The new one's a real powder keg. Yeah, good luck with that, Jeffrey. Anyway.
Why would you marry into intentional crazy if you're that wealthy? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Ask Bill Belichick. He seems to have one, too.
Yeah, but the difference is...
Yeah, you're like the wealthiest person on the planet.
Yeah, and you don't look like Bill Belichick. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Amazon McGee is a handsome man. I'm definitely not saying that. What I'm saying is he's got enough money that it doesn't matter. Whereas Bill Belichick, you're not overcoming that mug.
God, he looks like a trash heap.
Yeah, he is a trash heap. Allegedly.
He also has the personality of just a disgruntled airline worker.
Yeah, he needs
How's it going, Bill? Fine.
He needs his tummy to keep him sane.
Mm-hmm. Where is that guy?
I don't know, Garrett. I don't know. I see him in the morning.
I see him in the mornings at the foot of my bed and then not for hours after.
I think he's sliding under that bed.
Yikes.
But why?
You and Tom B. Rady have the weirdest dynamic.
Yeah, we do, because he won't admit who he is. Anyway, Garrett, I absolutely hate the delivery of this chorus. I believe it's the guitarist / vocalist and the drummist are alternating words in the chorus. Is that?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, it's so terrible. It's real bad. This song kind of sucks. I don't understand why it's called Motto. It feels like a verse got cut out that would make the name more like explicit and obvious, but
yeah, I guess they're trying to say it's like a creed. Like you do something that is fundamental to your existence. So in your case, or excuse me, in the case of your
character,
well, and sure, it's being the best male prostitute they can be. And then probably in the song, it's music.
Yeah, we can go with music.
It could also be about his diary.
Oh.
He says, and when I say that it's everything from my highest hopes to my dumbest schemes, you'll never know what it means to me. I'm just a reason away from that something that keeps me sane. I'm just a reason away. So it seems like he's trying to deny himself that thing that keeps him sane. And he's just one simple reason away, whether it's to celebrate or because something awful's happened. He's just waiting for that next shoe to drop so that he can go back and do that thing. Maybe he's trying to walk away from the whore game.
I think maybe he's at brunch with his mom and he's just like, he's looking around. He's like, there's an alley over there. I could be back in my alley. I'm in the alley. I'm in the alley. Daniel, is that you, Daniel? What are you doing over there? Our eggs are getting cold. Yeah.
Interesting. I just had to turn a quick trick. He's truly addicted to it.
He loves it. It's not an addiction, Garrett. He's in.
Interesting.
It's like you and podcasting.
I don't think I love podcasting as much as this person seems to love whoring.
Fair enough.
Maybe if we made some goddamn money, or at least didn't actively lose money, I'd probably like it more.
Let's see. Track number 7, History of a Boring Town.
New job, and she doubts it will last. So let's take a drink and never think.
We got back to the ska guitar and beat, and according to the comic book that came with this album,
God damn it,
this is a song about a man returning to his hometown, meeting a woman in a bar he hasn't seen in years. They start talking. She tells him that although in the past she couldn't wait to leave, she now feels stuck in a never-ending cycle.
So a guy goes back to his hometown, runs into a girl he used to know in his hometown.
Apparently.
And then walk me through the second half?
And then
she leaves the hometown?
No. No. She's telling him about her experiences after he's
she's back.
Right, yes. So what I think, okay, verse 1, just talk to this girl, used to live on my street. After all these years, you're here and you remember me. She said her old boyfriend packed up and headed back east, but she always knew someday he would go. She just got a new job, but doubts it will last. What I think is happening is this guy, he's in his hometown, he's in Gainesville or wherever, and she's already moved. This is a lady, she's a classy lady. She was always, she was the prom queen at his school. She was always the one that was really going to make it big in the prostitute game. And she did. She moved down to the city, and now she's coming back, and they're commiserating, and she's telling him all about the glory or, what it was like in the big city. And this is what's giving him the
highs
courage.
And the lows.
Yeah, and he's telling her about, I stayed here, I'm a small town boy, I'm doing this, whatever. I'm trying to make it work here. And she's like, listen, man, I'm not going to tell you it's all going to be roses, but you got to get out of here. You got to go to the city and really try to make it big on your own. This is her encouraging him to move on.
Fascinating. Slightly different read on my end. Just the odds of being friends with somebody from your hometown who also became a prostitute.
Well, maybe he's...
it's Gainesville.
That's true. They all are. You got to know the price.
Lot Lizard, capital of the world.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe she was talking in high school. She's like, man, the second I turn 18, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to the Big Apple and I'm going to, be a lady of the evening. And he's been thinking about it. He's like, yeah.
Sex for money.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too. But he just, he hasn't yet made it out of Gainesville.
And maybe he was naive. He could be running like a really strong game in Gainesville. Maybe he's servicing all of his former high school friends' mothers. And he's ignorant to the fact that when he runs into this lady and she's like, oh, sweetie, you've got to go to the big city. You'll never know unless you try.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to find wealthy widows and all sorts of women to have sex with. And he gets there and it's like, oh,
yeah,
this is much different than I envisioned, but I'm still down.
That totally checks out because the pre-chorus here, a boring life in a boring town with the same old crowd. And I used to say that I'd never stay, but I'm rotting here today. With all that same, so he was always saying, listen, we're going to move together. We're going to go get like a really nice apartment, like on Sex and the City or Friends. We're going to live together in the big city. And, we're just going to, do the thing we discussed. And she moved and he didn't. He stayed behind with the same old crowd that's always been around. He said he'd be the first to grow. That same old crowd just drags him down another day in a boring town. And she's saying, listen, it's been 5 years. You've done it. I'm successful. Now, let me be honest, it's real gross. It's somehow it's grosser in the Big Apple on that scene than Gainesville, Florida. But the money's good. Come with me. Come. We can get that apartment we always dreamed of.
Interesting. So I viewed this much more about a small town that he returns to, runs into this woman, and she's complaining about how she always thought she'd leave, and she's still here, and now he's still here. And the whole town, nobody can seem to leave. Everybody talks about in their childhood how they're going to grow up and leave, and then somehow they just end up staying and sort of just forgetting each other.
Interesting. So it's like
they totally
name.
forget their child. Yeah, exactly. I have named the city Wendell.
Wendell Pierce.
I workshopped Ridgeway, Twin Falls, Grisham, and I settled on Wendell. Do you have a preference there? There's Ridgeway, feels a little long. Twin Falls, way too long. Grisham, Wendell.
I think Wendell. I like it.
Yeah, feels like dairy. So all these kids grow up. They swear they're going to leave, but then they grow up and they stay here. More on that in a bit. Song continues. Oh no, you pretty much read it all, didn't you? Oh no, there is one more. And remember when they looked through you and then looked past me? We were the ones they said would always leave. So when you go, just think of me. Think of me. And that, of course, works both ways. She's either encouraging him to go out there and make his dreams come true, become the greatest prostitute ever seen.
Listen, he doesn't have to be good at it. He enjoys it.
I am increasingly upset every time you reorient his motivations for me. Let it be the other thing. Your thing is disturbing.
Listen, he wants to be good at it, but it's not a competitive thing. Right?
Love of the game.
Yeah.
Fascinating. He enjoys bringing joy to others sexually.
Yes. Yeah, but I think that works, right? So if he's going to go, or if she's going to go, maybe he's saying, listen, I might be stuck here, but I can live vicariously through you. Maybe just, we could talk on the phone. He could tell me about how great it is. And I can tell you about this parking lot, this alley.
I can tell you what's going on at the old Circle K.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Track number 8, The Great American Sharpshooter.
Okay, you didn't need her anyway. And I don't wanna hear you say nobody can take her place.
We're back to pop punk again, so that's kind of nice.
And this song is about breaking up and being a mopey bitch boy about it.
Yeah, why is it called The Great American Sharpshooter?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. But he says, so you think of what it could have been when time is all you've lost. It keeps burning through your head. Now you fall asleep standing, but lie awake in bed. Watch the clock drag on and think of what you should have said. He broke up with somebody. It's eaten him alive. He's poring over the details as one does. He's falling asleep during the day. Can't sleep at night. These are all fairly familiar things if we've been in a messy breakup before.
Or if your best Lady John has left you, you know.
You know, that's probably true. If not emotionally, then at least financially you'd be sad. Your best Lady John. Oh, it's for the better your better half's gone. It's okay, you didn't need her anyway. Words of encouragement.
I do actually like the line, it's for the better your better half's gone. I think that plays well.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well written. We can be positive here on this show. We try.
I think I'm being very positive this week.
Yeah, we're giving him a lot of grace.
Yeah, it's all there's a deep, rich tapestry here. Sticky tapestry, but it's rich nonetheless.
Gross.
Yeah.
Let's see. Choruses, and I don't want to hear you say nobody can take her place. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We've cut out a lot of woes throughout these songs. There's a lot of whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's pop punk.
Yeah, exactly. And so you think of how it should have been, and it's just over. It's just over keeps going through your head. You're hearing all those words time and time again. Watch the phone all night and think of what you should have said. Yeah, dude's tortured and sad about losing his best Lady John.
Fair enough. Track number 9, Danny
He
says.
says that he got caught up in all the talk of how it used to be. And he says, I never used to mind that.
We are back to ska.
Oh, yeah. Open with some big horns. I think this song is about a wizened 19-year-old who's just over it all.
Yeah, that's true. It is a song about Danny, the protagonist's friend and, of course, fellow whore. Somebody that started, recently being a whore and is already weary of the game, looking to get out, foreshadowing our own protagonist's future on the street. It's just not glorious anymore.
Glorious? Yeah. It's never glorious when you're a prostitute.
The glory of being a whore.
Right. Danny says that he got caught up in all the talk of how it used to be. And he says, I never used to mind that same lame line. It's just you and me.
Right.
I don't understand that.
I will tell you exactly what it means, Garrett. He got caught up in the feeling of it. He got caught up in the fantasy of being a whore. And he says, listen, I never used to mind that lame line where, we'd lie to each other and pretend to be a thing. You would say, oh, it's just you and me. It's not though, right? Because I know you're just paying and then you're going to be gone in 32 minutes. I know how this works.
Yeah, I'm just genital Netflix.
Yes. Danny,
I'm here to entertain your genitals for 20 to 46
move
minutes.
On past genital Netflix.
20 to 46 minutes.
Danny says that he's so bored. God
you laugh at it. Oh, what do you got in your queue? Oh, God. Sorry.
Danny. It just says Danny.
You've got Danny in your queue.
Ugh. Danny says he's so bored now since he figured out that back in the day, he rarely says how I remember this and don't give a shit about what you have to say. He's just over it. Really? Like, listen, I thought this was going to be forever entertaining. I used to enjoy sex. Now that I'm being paid to do it on a near hourly basis, a third to 2/3 of an hourly basis, I'm just, shit.
Yeah, I thought I'd never lose my zeal, but my zeal is chapped and chafing.
Yes, gross. Then we get to the really creepy part of this, Garrett. He's only 19. Burnt out on the scene, yeah. He's only 19.
Well, I mean, Tim, what do you think the prime lot lizard years are?
Oh, God.
You know the answer and you don't like it.
I would hope it wouldn't even start until 19.
It's probably like 17 to 24. Ugh. It's a short life.
It's like being a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, any professional athlete for that matter. It's just hell on those knees.
You gotta treat it like golf, I think, you know? You don't want to...
You got to be in it for the long game.
Yeah, if that's what you want.
Well, sure, yeah. Maybe you want to make it big fast or potentially go high volume over a short period and get out of the game early. That's probably what all of them are trying to do.
Yeah, but you really don't want... That's the thing. You don't want high volume. You want the one big score.
Yeah, ideally you could convert a Lady John or two into some sort of sugar mama.
One would hope.
So that you're like lounging around her mansion and just occasionally having a banger. Although your guy loves it, so maybe that's not really what he's going for.
Yeah, but well, again though, who knows? I don't know. I assume it's for the love of the game. I assume that he wants variety, presumably. He wants to really, it's like when you're like a kid and you're like really looking forward to getting a locker in school, or, you really want, you're like in like third grade and the fourth graders, they get homework. And so it seems like you want homework because that's what like the big kids are doing, something to that effect. This is sort of the thing where in his mind, he wants to get out there and, quote unquote, pay his dues. He wants the bad stuff because that's how he knows that he is earning it. But you don't really want that.
Dear God, how did we get here?
I don't know, Garrett.
He wants the bad stuff. What are we even talking about?
Stuff. He just, he wants to go through it. It's like you want to, if you're a stand-up comedian, you need to bomb. Yeah, exactly. And he knows
so you're saying he needs to have those difficult experiences, really pay his dues.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, and is the song saying he's just tired of it? He's tired of having to pay his dues?
He's like, listen, this wasn't, now that I'm here, now that I'm paying these dues on a nightly basis, I'd prefer not to, actually.
Yeah, no 401k, very poor health insurance.
Well, it depends who your pimp is.
That, I gotta say, we glossed over it. I'm sort of crushed by the idea that our main character even has a pimp. The entire arrangement just seems less than ideal in my eyes.
Yeah.
I hoped for independence for our main character.
Well, you gotta have somebody to protect you. You're in that alley. Or as we will see, you're on H Street. Jesus.
Oh, I gotta tell you, Tim, I got quite a tale.
Okay.
For H Street.
Well, we got one song before we can get there, Garrett. Track number 10, Big Crash.
They've always had big plans for you, just to walk you through and
back to punk.
Yep. This is a song about not giving up, Garrett. This is the Big Crash. When you go out there, when you swing for the fences, you have to swing for the fences, because if you don't swing for the fences, you're never going to hit that home run. But if you do swing for the fences, you're going to strike out a lot. And that's, I think, kind of an apt metaphor for his push into the old street game.
Right. He's got a real go big or go home mentality.
But he can't go home,
for sex
Garrett.
Work.
Not anymore. Not after what he's done.
I just can't look my parents in the eyes knowing I'm a failure in the horror game.
Yeah. You got to go out there until you're the number one girl in the business.
And by girl, you mean guy.
That's right. Boys.
God damn it.
Sometimes I think something's wrong with me because I was never one to believe in anyone or anything. It's always been just me. It's always been just. So he's self-reliant and he's getting out there and he's like, no, there's like corporations. Each one of these pimps appears to be some sort of LLC. He's got this whole stable. Unless I came out here, I wanted it to just be me.
It's like a union. You got to join.
Yeah.
If you want to make any headway, you're going to have to link up with a pimp. They all have territory. And if you don't do it, they're going to squeeze you out. They already have all the best connections to the wealthy financial guys. They're going to pay the best.
They got the best alleys, the best corners, the best
alleys. Oh, yeah. I've got all the best alleyways.
This one's got a lot of pizza boxes laying around on the ground. You don't know yet, but that's big. That's big.
That's pretty nice. You smell that? Smells a little bit like piss. Most of these alleys smell a lot like piss. You're welcome.
Jesus Christ.
It's not great, Tim. This whole city smells like marijuana and piss now.
It does. It does. It always smelled like piss, but the marijuana's
now
a new
it smells
addition.
like weed too.
And they always had big plans for you, just to walk you through and cloud your views. And I'll never say everything's okay. Don't want to say they're giving up right now. Just hold your ground and don't give up in what you believe. So here's what I think is happening. His parents have come, they've driven up from Gainesville to Chicago or the Big Apple or wherever, and they're like, listen, you can still go to law school. I'm the dean of the goddamn University of Florida Law School. You can go there. It'll be free. You don't even need to take the LSAT. You can just go there. And he's like, listen, I know you've always had big dreams and big plans for me, but I'm not going to let that cloud my vision. I'm not going to give up on what I want. I'm not going to give up on being the best. I'm going to hold my ground. This is what I believe in.
Slight tweak. See if you're into it. In my version, he's been telling his parents the whole time he's going to Colombia.
And he is kind of.
Oh, he's there frequently. But when he finally brings them up, he's like, you know what? I've got my own apartment, I've got friends, and I've got a business that I'm proud of, and I'm going to show them what I've made of myself in this town. Oh my God. Mom and Dad, this is what I do.
Oh God, we're going to have to bleep
I'm in
that
the alley.
noise.
I'm in the alley. So you just stand there saying you're in the alley? Just wait. I'm in the alley. Hey, alley guy, I'm going to yeah.
God, there's going to be a
my
lot of
God.
bleeps. I hope we played that After Dark theme because Jesus Christ.
I hope we didn't.
I hope we played, maybe we can somehow mix the pop punk and the ska and the
Oh God.
and the After Dark versions together.
Just some unholy trinity of garbage.
Maybe we'll just play them sequentially. I don't know.
I just want to be clear. These are not my sentiments. These are not my words. This is what's in the songs.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
absolutely.
express them.
Yeah, add some life to it, maybe a little more characterization than the Less Than Jake boys were able to do.
Yeah, exactly. But merely faithful interpretations.
Yep.
Great. Track number 11, theme song for H Street.
You know my best friend just left yesterday, and I know your girlfriend.
I think H Street is probably the main thoroughfare, the street that everyone aspires to.
I think H Street is a cell block in a prison.
Oh, well, honestly, that's probably just as good.
I think you can flex into mine on this one. Well, I'll kick it off. You know, my best friend just left yesterday, and I know your girlfriend wasn't here to stay. She moved away. Things are so the same, and all I really can bring myself to say is that I know that I know that I know. I think this is about two friends that are going to prison for having done something together, or possibly being caught doing something in an alley, and of course their friends and family are abandoning them, as often is the case, and they're trying to prepare themselves, and this is the story of what happens when they get there.
Okay.
And just remember when they said, just how long can your ideals keep you warm? And we just laughed that kind of nervous laugh. We just sang along to that song that's on the radio. To that song that's on the radio. So of course they get to prison and immediately they're like, what's your set? And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you have to join a gang or get a hustle or start beating people or manhole.
Ooh,
But-
I've got some good news for you.
Here's the thing, Tim. I question whether or not our main characters would be down to clown for free. And I don't think prison's usually on a payment system. It's usually more of a hold my pocket situation.
Maybe they're so good at it that
They
it
can
supersedes
charge.
that. Yeah, they're getting paid in
Fascinating.
cigarettes, obviously.
Right. Song continues. And yeah, just outside, the conversation's getting old. Oh, wait. So before we get there, see, I think they get there and maybe they're hesitant, obviously. They don't want to fight. They don't want to join a gang. And they're like, no, we're good. We're just going to keep to ourselves. Obviously, before they can establish a reputation as world-class whores. But song continues. And yeah, just outside, the conversation's getting old. I know they're right, betting smokes that our end's just as close. Things are so the same that all I really can bring myself to say is that I know that I know that I know. I assume they can hear the other inmates gambling about when they're going to be murdered for not joining a gang and not getting any sort of protection. And they're just like, we might have to start giving it out for free.
Yeah, I know.
And you
I
were
know.
right about just how we'd figure out things change, beliefs stay the same. And you were right about just how we'd figure out a change of ideas I've known that I know that I know. I think eventually they do lose out. They either join a gang. Let's say one of them becomes somebody's sex slave and the other one hitman for MS-13.
Jesus, okay.
You gotta have a trade, Tim.
That's fair. Track number 12, Richard Allen George. No, it's just cheese.
Call me George, just call me G, that's who I am. And I'm rich, not George, I'm cheese.
All you, Tim.
Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. Don't call me Rich, don't call me George, just call me Cheese, that's who I am. Not Rich, not George, I'm Cheese. This is about our main character taking his either street or possibly prison name, which apparently is Cheese.
Not a great street name. Well,
No.
simultaneously, pretty good nickname.
Pretty good nickname, not as great a nickname as his pimp, who we will get into in just one moment.
Fascinating. Now, Tim, we are firmly in the camp. One cannot give themselves a nickname.
That's true.
But I am going to say that one can, in fact, give themselves a street name.
Well, listen, if it's not necessarily a nickname, this is a business name, right? Like, we didn't call our LLC Tim Richardson and also Garrett Harvey, right? I mean,
of course not.
Right. That would be silly. We named it.
We're not going to say what we named it. Also, it's not ours.
Hateful Productions or something.
It's definitely not. It is not even kind of that.
Well, okay, whatever. The point is, you're incorporating as cheese.
Right. Yes, you are. Your reputation, your calling card, your business is cheese.
Yes, and it is.
I don't call up. I don't know the individual people that work at Google. I look up Google.
Yeah,
you
say, hey,
just
Google.
get cheese. Right.
Civilized until the keg runs dry. And he's tried to drink from 9 to 5 and then from 5 to 9, always drunk and going crazy, always drunk, going crazy. You'd better believe it. Chesterfield, where the keg's never dry. It's always filled. Have another beer with Fear, or have another beer or two. Garrett. Is his pimp's name Fear? Because that
I assumed it was the punk band Fear, but that's a good pimp name.
I know, that's what I was going to say. It's a great pimp name. He'll show you his cheese tattoo, always drunk, going crazy, you better believe it. To which I said, what is a cheese tattoo, Garrett? Is it...
I pictured a wedge of cheese.
That's true, but the other thing, it could be on the part of his body he refers to as his cheese.
Ew,
I know.
What part of your body would you call cheese? I guess your ass.
Obviously, Garrett.
Oh, yeah. But how do you have a tattoo?
What do you mean?
Oh, you mean on it. I mean, how would you have a portrait of it?
No, you wouldn't. No, that's classless, Garrett. It's very...
I just got a new tattoo. What am I looking at here exactly? It's... Oh, no. Yeah, it sure is. Look at that. Now I see it. Yeah. It's like a magic eye that makes you want to throw up and kill yourself at the same time.
Accurate. I will say this, Garrett, Cinco de Mustache is also a pretty good street name.
They call me Cinco de Mustache, the man of 1,000 mustache rides. I love that I'm trying to buy into your premise, and every time you're just like, dude, gross.
It's gross. The things you're saying are gross.
It's your world. I'm just renting space. Oh, this is my pimp Fear. I'm Fear. Now, what would Fear's voice be?
I'm Fear.
Oh, what if it was like, that's not bad. I like yours, although that's way too close to...
It's probably a lady's voice, though. I assume Fear is a lady.
Oh, CCH Poudner.
Oh.
I'm this bitch's pimp. What kind of games do you have me running for the DA? Oh, CCH Poudner. We love you. I love that. Brilliant casting. I don't know how we got there. Yeah, it's a powerful black woman is his pimp. Yeah. Played by CCH Poudner.
Maybe it just is CCH Poudner.
Oh my God, that's her side hustle. Are you doing this for a role? Give me my money. Motherfucker, make me ask you twice. She's awesome. Okay. This is weird. You've made this weird.
No, you added these characters.
Track 13, let's finish this shit. Scott Farkas takes it on the chin.
After dark. Jesus Christ.
Does have a new meaning after your filth.
This, I think, is about how it's time to leave the scene. It's time to leave H Street. But, you basically have to be dragged away because you love it so much. Not you. Cheese.
Right. Sure. And I'm thinking maybe Cheese was never, quite part of the scene. Maybe he was a booker or a dealer, and now he's, quit doing whatever job it was that forced people to deal with Cheese. And now they're like, yeah, I don't have to deal with you anymore, so fuck on off, Cheese. He's being told to leave the scene.
Yeah, that could be.
Or it's about an evil town that attracts scumbags. Let's see. When I think of how things are, right now it feels like, it all feels like some kind of circus show. And how this town, it keeps you pinned down to the same old song from years ago. So he's been hanging out too long. Shit sounds the same.
Goddamn,
I know
Gainesville.
This place. Oh, yeah, you're right. I pictured Bakersfield, California, but Gainesville, equal, if not worse. It's no Orlando.
It's
God, I hate
worse
that
than
city.
Orlando, Garrett. Orlando,
Yeah, you're
at
probably
the
right.
worst, has the best amusement park in the world.
What's that?
Epcot Center.
Is it?
It's great. Have you never been to Epcot?
I've never been to any Disney property.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was raised by psychopaths.
Yeah, they'll drive you there. You're not getting in.
Dude, we definitely drove past Disney. We also drove to Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
The line was too long, so we went to the river next door. God damn it. Anyway,
I know this place will chew you up, then spit you out before you go, and when they drag you kicking and screaming from the scene, you know that it's time to leave. He doesn't want... Listen, it's very obvious that this life is not good for him. He's been chewed up and spit out, but they're still going to have to drag him away. He loves it that much.
wow. Yeah. All the other whores are just like, you're done. Danny, you're finished. Go home.
Yeah, man, when fear is telling Cheese, listen, usually I'm doing the opposite of this, but you should retire, Cheese.
Yeah. I just can't call you Cheese anymore.
Fear! Say it's not true, Fear!
I'm in the alley. I'm in the alley. No, sweetie, you're not in the alley.
You're in the hospital.
You're in the hospital. You have super hepatitis.
You do. When I think of how this town, right now, it's filled with speed freaks and assholes and all kind of creeps, and somehow every new face in every single case in a year or two will be erased. That is just Gainesville.
Yeah, maybe he's finally gone home. He's like, I'm just going to be a big fish in a small pond. And he's like, Jesus Christ, these people are disgusting.
When I think of how I'm feeling right now, somehow I still remember how I felt 4 years ago. 4 years is a long time, Garrett. It's a long time.
In the Horan game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's hard living.
Yeah.
That's irreparable damage.
Mm-hmm.
Depends, depending on your specialty.
Yeah.
You could probably jake people off for 4 years.
You think so? Are you unfamiliar with the ravages of carpal tunnel syndrome, Garrett?
Fair enough.
Track number 14, Owl's War.
Goodbye to his mom and dad for the first time in his
I don't know what we're dealing with here.
Oh, this is a story about a kid who just graduated high school, realizing that he is maybe not college material, and instead finding freedom and financial independence elsewhere. Al said goodbye to his mom and dad for the first time in his life. Tonight he left the house and walked to the waiting car outside. And somehow he thought they'd never understand that nothing lasts, and he just knows that time is just spinning by and life is passing him so fast. Garrett, there's a waiting car outside, and he's going to it. This is when it's still classy. This is when people come and pick him up. He doesn't have to go out in that alley.
I see. I thought this was him. Interesting. Like leaving home. I thought this might be like telling the beginning at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Fear sent this car.
Well, we don't know if he's hooked up with Fear quite yet. I mean, he's eventually going to make his way to Fear.
Interesting. Oh, well, who sent the car then?
Some John. He's got an internet business.
Interesting. So he's coming home. I pictured this was him leaving home forever.
No, this is so Garrett. This is when he graduated from high school. He's definitely not in college. His parents, as far as they know, he doesn't have a job, but he's always got money, and it's because there's always a car waiting outside.
Interesting. Gross.
Yeah, but later, Al said to me a few days ago that he just thought for the first time in his life, he feels that the last few years were only a waste of time. Yes, it was always a compromise of what he always felt inside, his declaration under the orange streetlight. Listen, he felt that high school, college, they were a waste of time. Why would he need to know trigonometry or whatever when he was just gonna wait under a streetlight until a wealthy gentleman stops by for...
Or a lady.
Or a lady.
Whoever shows up first.
Whichever one needs that HJ.
Right. We should maybe call it something else. It's going to be a man.
And it's not going to be an HJ.
No, it isn't.
Ugh.
Great. So he has decided to dedicate himself to a life of horritude.
Yep.
Great job, Danny.
And then there's a reference to John Lennon's Nobody Told Me There'd Be Days Like These, maybe?
That's not a reference to John Lennon's Nobody Told Me There'd Be Days Like These. That predates John Lennon. That's him referencing somebody else. It's,
Mama Said?
Yes.
Mama Said. I don't know. I don't know why it would be that one and not the John Lennon song.
Because of the cadence.
Oh.
It's just a guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Either one, Tim. But more importantly, how did this do? do?
This hit number 80 on the US Billboard 200, number 89 in the UK, number 77 in Scotland. Unclear how it did anywhere else, but I think the Dutch would enjoy this.
Fair enough. Well, what did people think of it?
Well, according to AI, while Christgau has written extensively about popular music across different genres and eras, including ska and punk, there is no mention of him reviewing or discussing Less Than Jake. Tough but fair, AI.
When did we begin relying so heavily on AI?
Oh, most of my stuff has been written by AI for years.
I hate you.
AI is a real pervert.
Fair. Any other reviews?
Well, there are 143 total ratings on Amazon, 4.5 out of 5 stars on average, 72% 5-star, 5% 1-star. The first review is by somebody named Richard Nixon. It's from July 4th, 2005, and it's entitled Beam Me Up Snotty.
God damn it.
When I bought this CD 7 years ago, people asked me if it was Christian rock. Really? Christian rock? Maybe not. But still, this is the album that got late-blooming ska kids into ska. I mean, in my town, my boring town, ska wasn't even invented until that's right, until Richard Dick Nixon, bought Hello Rockview and placed it into my stereo. Since then, I have found better, older, and more amazing ska than Less Than Jake, but this still remains one of my top ska CDs. Yes, there are some not-so-good songs, I will admit that, but songs like All My Best Friends Are Metalheads and History of a Boring Town definitely make up for it. Originality is a must in this CD, from the songs to their titles to, yes, the packet in the front cover. The lyrics are written as a comic book, unique to say the least. As for being Christian rock, still don't think so. But as for a totally rad foundation of ska core, this CD is enthralling, 4 out of 5 stars.
Well, shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Todd, on the other hand, in 2015, I love this CD, but part of the reason I bought it was for the liner notes, which are supposed to be a comic book style. And this CD was missing that documentation, 1 out of 5 stars.
Documentation.
Literature, Garrett.
How is it not abundantly obvious when he purchased it wasn't there?
We bought it on Amazon, you see.
Oh, right. It's an Amazon review.
This is by Amazon Customer, my favorite CD of all time from 2003. Less Than Jake is my favorite band, and despite the reputation of Losing Streak being the true fan favorite CD, my favorite LTJ CD has always been Hello Rockview. In fact, it recently became my favorite CD of all time. I don't know what dropped out of the rankings there. Rockview tells the story about getting fed up with a town/life and leaving. The united theme of the album helps make it that much clearer. Let's go through it track by track. Now, he grades each song individually. I'm not going to do that, but
thank you.
He goes on, overall rating 131 out of 140, or a 94%, which rounds up to a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 stars.
Ugh, that guy seems exhausting.
139 out of 140.
Terrible. These people are just out here walking among us.
Yep.
God. Any others, Timmy?
Nah, that's probably it.
Who's this for?
This is for fans of Real Big Fish and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Sublime and Blink-182 and No Doubt. If you like those things plus Midnight Cowboy, you're really going to enjoy this album.
I would rather listen to all those bands before this one.
Not Sublime.
Not Sublime. Got me.
Yeah.
Okie doke, Tim. Final thoughts. Did you learn anything?
No, I think I imparted a bunch of meaning to this.
Yeah, you made me very upset this week.
We're going to have to bleep a lot of the things you said, Garrett.
I don't appreciate that.
They were gross.
Just trying to help you explain yourself. Timmy, do you hate this?
No, but again, I do not like this. What about you, Garrett? Do you hate this?
No. I dislike it more, though.
Yeah.
I do dislike it
because
more.
of the grungy, disgusting filth that's on it.
You've definitely made it worse. Okie doke, folks. That's it for this week. As always, rate, review, subscribe, follow, reach out, hatePodMail@gmail.com, HatePod on Instagram, Album HatePod on Twitter, G Harvey Tweets on Twitter, subreddits, Discord servers, all that fun stuff. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. But for this week, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and I forgot to write a quote down this week.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.